So when you checked out the camera from the dispensary, the camera will come on a case just like this. So when you get to your chair, open the case, and you'll notice that the lenses are already attached to the body. However, the flash is not. Also, you will notice that every case has a card reader. You will use this guy in order to transfer your images from the camera to the computer. Okay, in this particular case, most likely MyBax. Very, very important that you bring your own memory card. It's an SD card because we do not provide them. So make sure you always have your SD card available to you. So when removing the camera, make sure that hold it by the lenses, take it out, and as soon as you do this, extremely important, you guys, we're going to apply rule number 1. Rule number 1 is from here. I'm just going to flip it. That goes around my neck. Now I'm ready to pick up my flash. Okay? Extremely important that every single time you guys manipulate a camera, that you have the strap around your neck. This is the most important rule of photography. Okay? The sound of this hitting your chest is much nicer than the sound of this hitting the ground. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to adapt to what's called the shoe to the camera. So basically, this mechanism here locks and unlocks the flash. Okay, so one more time. Locks and unlocks the flash to the camera. Make sure that this is turned all the way to the right so you get some room. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slide this all the way, okay, into the shoe, and we're going to lock it. It's extremely important that you notice that if you don't slide this all the way to the inside the shoe, if you just do it halfway through, this will not work. Okay, it needs to go all the way in. Then you lock it and your camera is ready to go. So the school does not provide the SD memory card. You're supposed to have your own. So when it's ready for you to load your SD card to the camera, make sure that you get it ready. And right here on the right hand side of the body, there is a compartment for the card. All you have to do is slide it out. Card goes in, and you can lock it back in.
One more time, please. Okay.
Okay, notice that when you guys get your camera, it says empty. Okay, you guys gonna see a knee at the display, and that means that the camera is empty. There's no card associated to this camera. So make sure that go to the right side of the body, slide this section here that says card, introduce the card inside the camera, press it all the way down, lock it again. Now notice that where it says empty, it says 536. The operator, the person holding the camera, never wear gloves. Okay, bare hands at all times. The assistants are going to be the one touching the mirrors and the retractors, not the person with the camera. So when you guys have your camera ready, very, very important that we check a couple things before we start our series. Number one, you always want to make sure that the f-stop of the camera is set on 32.
Okay.
If by any chance this is not correctly placed on 32 f-stop, the camera will not work. So always make sure that the 32, it's matching that white line associated to the lenses.
Okay.
Okay. The second thing that you always want to make sure is that the camera is set on manual mode. If the camera is set on the autofocus mode, the zoom is going to go in and out by itself and try to frame the picture for you. The problem with this setting in intraoral picture is that we don't have the correct lighting most of the time to use this function. And the camera goes back and forth, spending a lot of its battery and we can't achieve what's needed. So it's much easier to use the manual focus, okay, where allows you to use the camera on the manual mode. Now, what is important for you to notice is that the camera has its own marks here. The lenses has its own marks. And if you want to take a picture, let's say that's 1:2 or 1:1, all you have to do to keep this setting is to hold the lenses here and pull forward. This locks the lenses now, and I can't change it. And I'm going to have to work with my distance in order to find the right focus in order to take the picture with the magnification that I want. In case I want to change the magnification, all I have to do is hold the lenses one more time, pull back, and this will unlock that trigger mechanism, and now I can go back and forth manually. So the dial for an SLR camera has several modes. You can go from manual to A, which means aperture, to shutter speed, to P, to auto. It's extremely important that we always take intraoral pictures within our camera in the A position. The A means that the camera will give priority to the aperture that we are choosing in order to take the picture. And this is, as you guys saw from the lecture, this is probably one of the most important components in intraoral photography. So always keep the camera on A. Do not change to anything but A for intraoral and extraoral photography in the clinic. Turning on the camera, very important. All you have to do is move the off button to the on position. And notice that as soon as I turn it on my camera, the camera is now going to show an f/22. That means that right now our aperture is set for 22. And then what we're going to do is we're going to also turn on our flash. So right here on the right hand side of the flash, we're going to turn it on. And the flash should turn on as a TTL. Okay, if you want to test it, all you have to do is press test. And you'll see that the flash is working fine. Okay? Now, in order to change the f-stop associated with the camera, we can press the trigger button halfway down in order to bring up the menu. And this dial right here in the front of the camera allows me to move the f-stop to a larger f-stop, let's say f8, all the way to a smaller f-stop, in this particular case f32. So this is the dial that's going to control the light and the f-stop for you. All the way, press halfway down, and it allows me to change the f-stop.